Tony laying into nothing at the end of that video.
It's so funny. Looks like he looks like he's jacking a big one, and he's setting the hook on grass.
Setting the hook in a big bed of grass is exactly what he's doing. And we haven't...
Ken Berry!
What's up, Ken? Holla, bitches. What up, Ken? And he still said we need to replace that video with him actually catching a fish, but we can't get a good video of him catching a fish.
Because he doesn't catch fish.
That's not true. It's because he doesn't videotape his spots.
I know the feeling. I also do not do that.
Which, I don't care. I'll videotape the old GP. Come on.
Come on.
Come on. Ken Berry. Holla, bitches. I like that. Hashtag big titty bitches. Come on.
It's funny. It's funny the video. Tony won't video his spots, like on the flats, gunpowder, and like he's always in.
What's up, Larry?
Like I don't.
Come on.
I always see him in the biggest community areas. Like that's the only places I ever see him. I'm not saying he doesn't fish any other places. I just find it funny.
But he does yoke fish out of those places.
Oh no, yeah, him and everybody else. That's why it's community hole.
Yeah.
You just got to catch them better than other people that are fishing there.
We're still waiting for some more people to join in on the show. Do me a favor, boys. Hit that like and that share button. Let's get some more big titty bitches up in here.
That's for Chad.
We might get banned tonight.
No, it's not.
Yeah, probably not. But it's going to be awesome.
Bad.
Look the signs up. It says no cursing anymore.
Oh, so I guess we can curse.
No, we probably shouldn't do that.
Probably not. Not in the first couple minutes, anyway. We'll wait till we get a few beers in us. Wait till I get a few beers in me, since you probably already have a few in you.
I took a nap. I took a nap. So, dudes, the fishing's definitely warming up a little bit, in my opinion. I say warming up. The temperature's going down. The fishing is getting up.
Yeah, temperature's cooling down. Fishing's heating up.
What'd you see the other day?
74.
74. That was in the GP?
It was in the GP, yes.
It was in the GP. 74 in the GP. Quite a difference from midsummer out on the freaking mud flat when it was like 92, 89.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I definitely saw some low 90s. Didn't hit 92 too often when I was out there, but I mean, I definitely saw it a couple of days in the like 91, 92
That's
range.
Literally like bathtub water.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty gross.
Yeah. Another like 10, 12 degrees, like you're there.
Yeah, you got to get it to like 120. Northeast was 76 today. All right.
Right on.
I need to get up there.
Yeah, I need to report all the different areas. Send in what temperatures it is if you've been out. What temperature is it in the bush? What temperature is it on the flats?
I can't remember what the temperature. I was just up in the Northeast a couple weeks ago.
It's always 98 degrees in the bush.
98.6.
Yes. Exactly.
I haven't been to the bush in a while.
I like the bush.
The last time I was at the bush this year, I was to launch our tournament out of the bush and then proceed to run to the gunpowder. And I made actually, you know what? That's
still just as long a run as basically going to the flats.
I did call out. I did call out once in the bush when I came back. I came back. I had about 15 minutes left. I went to one little section of wood and caught like a 2 3/4, close to 3-pounder.
They're in there. I've seen some nice fish in there.
I've caught more big fish out of the. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna talk about that.
Not yet.
But yeah, I mean, there's definitely fish in there. It gets pressured a ton. That's the biggest problem with it, is it gets so much pressure from like kayak anglers.
Yeah, I mean, it gets a lot of big pressure way in the back, like around 40, where everybody like dumps in and they have all the kayaks and shit there. I mean, I'm sure there's other places too.
Bush Creek gets a ton of pressure.
Hey, what's up, Jake? Good to see you, buddy. Bush has been crabby. How's the bow fishing been, pal?
Otter Creek gets a lot of bank pressure.
Okay.
I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Gets a lot of bank pressure.
A lot of bank pressure from the locals, huh?
A lot of bank pressure from the bucket brigade.
You ever see DNR just walk down that freaking line, just checking them guys?
Not in Otter. I think Otter's kind of secluded, so they don't really go back there. I mean, I've definitely seen them at like Gray's Run.
Mm-hmm. Gray's Run.
Oh, want to hear a funny story about DNR?
You're damn right I do.
I got stopped by DNR in my last tournament. So there's a new 6 mile an hour zone in Haverty Grace. So coming out of tidings on Saturdays, Sundays, and holidays, it is 6 mile an hour all the way to the main shipping channel. Like 400 yards.
Is there a white buoy out there?
There is. It's right next to the green buoy, the big green shipping channel buoy. I was informed by
What's up,
DNR.
Zach?
And so they informed me that it was a 6 mile an hour zone. And I was like, oh, like, my bad. Like, I obviously, like, I stopped at the very visible 6 mile an hour buoy. And, I told him, I was like, I thought it was 6 mile an hour, to here, I saw this buoy. I didn't see a buoy out there when I was running in. And they were cool. Like, they're like, well, while we have you stopped, I want to, check your safety equipment and stuff like that. So, like, I'm going through, like, all my safety equipment and asked me if I caught any fish. I was like, yeah, I got two fish. We're fishing a little club tournament. Asked me if I had my life vest on. I said, yeah, and informs me that an inflatable life vest is not considered a PFD by the Coast Guard unless you're wearing it, which I think he may have been wrong in from my understanding of the law, but, I'm not going to argue. So showed him my fish, obviously he's just, checked to make sure things are legal. And he's, asked me if fish catch and release and whatever.
You had 2 live snakeheads in the live well, didn't you?
No, but somebody, I'm not going to mention any names, may have forgot to renew their fishing license this year.
Oh, so we did find something. What's up, Dan? What's up, brother?
Like, just total oversight. Like,
Paul got worked over by DNR.
I honestly, they were super nice, great guys. I had zero problems with them. They were just doing their job. I can't fault them for that. I was running a 6 mile an hour zone, unbeknownst to me, but they stopped me because I was running a 6 mile an hour zone. No big deal, right? They're just doing their job. And come to find out, I forgot to renew my fishing license this year, which is weird because I literally do that every year, right? I mean, I've been fishing for decades, and
I gotta fix this. It's bothering me.
So, like, I'm telling you, I'm like, dude, I couldn't find it on my phone. I always keep a screenshot of it on my phone. I couldn't find it, and he's like, I can just look it up, and he looks it up, and he goes, we might have a problem. I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, it says it expired in, or it says it was purchased, or it was expired in, I don't know, May or June or whatever it was. I can't remember. Not the month I was currently in. Put it that way. And I'm like,
you are in violation.
I'm like, are you serious? And he's like, yeah, that's what it said. I'm like, so I'm pulling up, like, I'm logging into into DNR, right? Because I'm like 100% sure that I renewed my license. I do it every year. And sure enough, like, I log in, I'm like, dude, I fish too many tournaments. Like, I don't like, I don't know I don't know how it happened. And he's like,
I wish you could put it on like automatic renewal.
Right. He looks at me and goes, I can see you didn't do it on purpose. You have bought 29 fishing licenses. He's like, everybody makes mistakes. Yeah, and he just gave me a warning for both. Mm-hmm. So super, super cool. But just be aware of that 6 mile an hour zone coming out of tidings, going towards the Susquehanna.
What's up, Pat? Let's go, buddy.
Saturday, Sunday, holidays, all the way to the green buoy. The big green channel marker.
I'm gonna run it. No, I'm just kidding. That's probably not a good idea.
I did.
But I do.
I can tell you how that worked out for me.
I ignore all of those in the gunpowder, though. Pretty much all of them. They want you to go all the way out to the bridge on the weekends. Piss on that.
Oh, so he did tell me. So here, just like you can in the gunpowder.
Ow, my shoulder.
He was like, look. He's like, I get it. Like you don't, you're like I understand you're fishing a tournament, and that's a long way. He's like, it's a straight line from here out to that buoy. If you got high tide and there's water on that flat right there, like you can just come out of the marina, hang a right, and take off. I'm like, my man.
Because I guess essentially you're out of the zone at that point. It's just where the channel is.
So it is marked, Ken, but it's really not. It's not, to me. It was not very easily visible. Like I said, I didn't like just running in. Like I did not see the 6 mile an hour buoys. But he did say that's been in effect for a couple of years. So
couple years.
Yeah, I don't know.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I do vaguely remember reading something about them extending a 6 mile an hour zone, but didn't really look at where it was.
Pat, post the link.
Yeah, it's definitely public. All the 6 mile an hour zones are published on DNR's website. It's a pain in the butt to find them, but you can look those up, and it'll give you exact like GPS coordinates of like where it starts.
Little old Google search there. Little old Google search.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? It'd probably be difficult to do that even off like searching on Google.
So
you'd have to go on like Havity Grace Town website or something.
No, it's on DNR.
Right on DNR.
Yeah, it's on DNR. All 6 mile an hour zones are official regulated 6 mile an hour zones will be listed on the DNR website.
So is it listed as officially changed in the GP all like back in the channels where that buoy is?
Yep. I can show you the exact GPS points that they give you on the DNR website. I actually plotted them in my fish planner. And it's a lot farther out than what we think it is. It's not the mouth of the canals. But then, this kind of brings up a good point. And if you're going to like, and I'm even, water that I'm familiar with, I fish the Upper Bay all the time. That sometimes like it might, especially if you're going to a new body of water, you got to do some research and find out like where the 6 mile an hour zone, where the 6 mile an hour zones are. There are certain areas that are no fishing on the Potomac, and it pays to do your research. You really should do your research before going out. And even if you're on a body of water, it doesn't hurt to refresh your memory, or check for anything new that's that's come. Because it's not. I mean, if you don't,
what's up, Roy?
Regularly go to the DNR website, you'll never know.
Real quick, gonna hit this link really quick and pop over and check this video out. Come on, from Patrick. Apparently, it is Shane Gillis's new Bud Light commercial.
Bobby, you've been accused of plagiarizing your master's thesis.
Oh, crap.
If you are found guilty, you will have to forgo the football season. But if you confess, I will make it only half the season. I'll make you a deal. You tell the truth, you can have this ice-cold bucket of Bud Light. All you have to do is confess.
All right, I'll go first. Grease the wheels a little.
What? No.
I confess that I practice my halftime speeches in the shower before games. Professor Wilkins, you want to confess anything?
No.
All right, I'll go for you. Professor Wilkins has been taking karate classes ever since that saxophone girl put him in a headlock.
That was a secret.
No, it's a beer.
Everybody likes to focus.
Oh, yeah, beers?
Yeah.
No.
All you have to do is confess and you get a Bud Light.
Oh, okay. When I order pizza, I use a British accent, and now the girl at the pizza place thinks I'm British, and we've been dating for 4 months.
That feels good, right?
Yeah.
Bobby, did you cheat? right, I admit I'm afraid of horses. Does that count?
Yeah.
You can go back to practice, big guy.
Okay.
I got plenty of confessions. I never read any of these books, and I'm really embarrassed about it.
Thank you.
Aye, quite a good time, Governor.
That's really bad. She's falling for that?
I think I love her.
The estimated hold time is now.
That was really good.
That
I
was
like
funny.
that. Yeah, that was really good. You know, but you would think anything. What's up, Jim?
What's up,
There
Jim?
he is. You think anything from Shane Gillis is going to be pretty funny. That is definitely hilarious. We got a good comment from Roy Boyd, getting back to a little bit of fishing here. Gunpowder, I'm not saying nothing. Right out of the tidings, right outside the channel, send it on home.
If you go right.
If you go right. It's only straight out, but to the main shipping channel on the Susquehanna Flats.
So if you go out the left side of tidings, it's 6 mile an hour out to the main shipping channel. If you go out the right side toward the on the back channel, it's send it as soon as you get past the buoys. Which I still find, I don't know. He kind of explained it, and I kind of think that 6 mile an hour zone is absolutely ridiculous, but it is what it is.
I can understand it in a couple of places, but even then, what's up, Little John? Dude, that was a hammer smallmouth. Good for you. Really like that.
That was a big one.
It was good. You know, it's funny because I showed the picture to Paul, and the first thing Paul goes, he's like,
on the St. Lawrence.
He's like, that's not from around here.
That's a New York. I was like, that's a New York fish.
Let me see if I can send this thing in here. I gotta get the picture.
Yeah, Jim. It's there's a 6 mile an hour zone at one of our local ramps that is like it's about 400 yards of nothing. Like you can't get on plane for 400 yards for zero reason. Like there's nothing within 200 to 300 yards of anywhere of it, but it's 6 mile an hour. That was only 4-1. That fish looked a lot bigger than that. I thought for sure that was over 5. That's still a good one though.
410. 4.10 or 4.10, I think is what Steve said.
Yeah, John just said.
Yep, perfect. Perfect.
Yeah, I thought it was a lot bigger than that.
I'm working on getting it up. Not that kind of getting it up. I'm working on getting the picture up.
That's still a hammer. And 4-pound smallmouths are so much fun.
Dude, yeah. That's freaking awesome.
Wait. 410, 4 pounds 10 ounces, or 4.10? If it's 4 pound 10 ounces, please learn how to type that out. That's 4-10, not 4.10. Just gonna give you a little shit there. But if you type 4.10, it's 4.1 pounds. 4-10 would be 4 pounds 10 ounces. There you go. So it was almost 5. Okay, that makes a little more sense. I guess it's just a huge fat fish.
Here we go. Wait a second. Boom.
Big one from the St. Lawrence.
I don't think it's the St. Lawrence. I think they're on the Great Lakes.
Jim, we have
I think. Wait. 4 pound 10 ounces. John, where are you guys at? John, Steve, where are you guys at? I thought you guys were up on the lakes.
Well, St. Lawrence is like
Is it
Ontario?
Basically.
Yeah.
Okay. I gotcha.
Jim, we have a lot of 6 mile an hour zones around here. I mean, a lot.
They're on Ontario.
Are you what part of Ontario are you on? Are you in Chaumont Bay, Henderson Bay? Are you by the Ducks? Wait.
Dude, that's a really nice smallmouth.
I may know the area up there a little bit. Are we like Wolf Island at the mouth of the river? Where are we at on Ontario? It's one of my favorite places on earth.
Paul Batters, completely agree on 6 mile an hour zone. I've kayak fished for years in all these locations. Rather have guys running plane out past me than
Clayton's in the
throwing a
river.
wake.
It's not on Ontario. I meant, where are you on Ontario? Like, what area of Ontario are you in? Clayton's in the river.
I get in the canals near ramps, but 6 mile an hour rule is flawed.
It is, because look, if it's 6 mile an hour and I go by you, if you're on a kayak or a paddleboard, or if you're in somebody else's boat, I'm gonna throw a giant wake. That's a giant glide. Well, that's actually a very small glide. But if I go by you at 50 mile an hour, I'm gonna throw almost no wake.
Yeah. A lot of people are just intimidated by the speed, though, especially when
Right.
you're like passing kayakers that are just renting a kayak or something.
Yeah, it's and like I get that, but you're also in a kayak. You don't need to be in the middle of the channel.
Jim, it took a couple trips to pick up a 1 or 2 4-pounders on this thing. I love this 6-inch trick shad from Mike. Thing's an absolute beast.
You know what I mean? Kayakers don't need to be in the middle of the channel.
No, they don't.
You're in a kayak. You can literally float your kayak in 6 inches of water. You don't need to be in 15. Like, get off to the side.
But don't worry. Even while you go past them on plane, they'll still manage to throw their hands up at you and be like, "What the fuck?" As they roll over and fall into the water. I don't care. I like doing that to paddleboarders. It makes me happy.
I was nice to some kayakers the other day. Mostly because he wasn't paying attention and I didn't want him to like paddle in front of my boat.
Right.
He was just like gawking like up at the sky and like sitting in the middle of the back channel all day.
Dude, the amount of times that I have actually like personally watched somebody in a kayak like row out into the middle of the channel when there was a fucking boat coming was crazy.
Yeah, I'm very.
You have nothing. You have one thing to look for in a kayak. One thing, and it's a boat. You can't
with as much boat traffic that's out. I do, and granted, like every boater should be paying attention to their surroundings as well. You know, if you see that there's a kayaker there, you gotta be safe, right?
Same here, Jim.
But kayakers need to take some sort of water safety course.
Yes.
So that they understand what is going on. Mm-hmm. Because there's no reason for kayakers to be going down the middle of a channel. You know, that should be part of a safety course. Like, don't go in the middle of a channel because that's where the boats run. You know, but it's, for some reason, kayakers get precedence over everyone else. So they'll always get their way.
Oh, it's... how do I say this without people like ridiculing me? It's
Kayakers
like
suck.
It's the poor man's way of getting out on the water. So let them have their time.
It's not even
but it's not. I mean, when you're in a freaking $5,000 kayak, it's a little bit different than a freaking rental.
I rarely have issues. Pretty rarely have issues with kayak fishermen.
No,
it's usually the pleasure kayak.
Yes. It's not the fishermen because the fishermen are out there for the same purpose we are, and they get it. And most of them have probably rode on people's boats and stuff before.
Yeah,
it's the pleasure kayakers.
I did have
paddle boarders.
I did have a guy that was fishing the Maryland State kayak championship last year. I think I was fishing at Chester County, and I'm over at this pier, and this kayaker was over in like the shallow water over here. And my friends Chris and Steve were fishing the bank here, and then there's a dock that comes out here. So like they're fishing this area over here. And like I'm fishing the dock over here, and we're in like talking distance. So like we're sitting there talking. I'm working my way down these dock pilings, and I'm like 6 dock pilings from the bank, give or take. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, here comes this kayaker. He's just pedaling away, goes right around my buddies, right in between me and them, and stops five pilings in front of me.
Dude, that's what Scuba Steve does in his kayak.
And I'm like, the whole time, as he's paddling over there, and I'm seeing what he's doing, I'm talking to my friends, going like, I'm just looking at them, going, "Yep. This is why nobody likes fucking kayak fishermen."
This is why you get waked.
And I'm just talking to all, and this guy is just oblivious. Like he just keeps on going to what it was. Doesn't look over. Nothing.
Jesus Christ, this topic's been beaten up more than an NFL wife.
What?
That's pretty funny.
It has. It's because it pisses me off.
It does, but it's like, well, just like Jim said, he's like, we literally have a kayak launch down here, and they just use the boat ramp. Mm-hmm. Well, that's exactly what they do here.
Yeah, they do
just
that here too.
They ignore the fact they have 2 kayak launching spots.
Yeah, one of them was really only put in to be handicap accessible. That's why the new one is there. The actual kayak launch is the beach.
Is that what that is? It's a handicap accessible kayak launch?
Yeah, it's ADA compliant.
I just thought it was a kayak launch they put out there.
No, it's ADA. They put it in to make it ADA compliant.
Was that in preparation for this stupid rental place they put there?
No.
It just happened to work out, huh?
No, and honestly, like I haven't had any problems with the kayak rental place. But I fish in the evenings too, and they're closed.
It's not that I've had problems with it. It's sometimes you'll go out there and there's 100 kayaks in the channel, and you just really have to pay attention.
Well, right. I mean, it's in the
channel. And there is obviously added traffic back in the channels.
Right. Well, the channels are 6 miles an hour.
No, they're not. Oh my god, my shoulder's killing me. I don't know.
Roy said he completely agrees. The hardcore kayak guys are okay, but it's changed. I've had guys the last few weeks that are not hardcore literally paddle right in front of me casting. Yeah, I actually, so not hardcore guys. A couple Sundays ago, I was fishing in the Quarry Canal. I was with Candace, and it was a family. It was a guy, his wife, and his kid. They're paddling up the Quarry Canal. I'm at this tree, and they stop at this tree and start fishing.
Yep.
And how I fish. Like I fish quick. I'm good.
Good.
Yeah, I still got a quarter, third one. You know how I am. I fish quick. So by the time they got their first cast off, I was ready to fish that tree. And it was just annoying. And
probably uneducated people that are like, this guy in this nice bass boat is fishing right here. There's probably fish nearby. Let me try to fish. They probably don't know the difference. They want to get Junior on a fish.
I think they just don't care. I don't think that they actively think about it. I think they just think oh well, I'm out here fishing. I can fish anywhere that I want.
Yeah, it's
they're just unaware of etiquette.
Being in the fishing game long enough to understand etiquette. And in all honesty, you would kind of think that the etiquette does have a little bit of common sense to it. Don't.
Pleasure boating has no place in fishing areas. See, we're lucky with pleasure boating. We have gators, so no jet skiers.
Yeah, we have all of that.
That's what Pat,
minus the gators.
So Pat, that's exactly what I'm saying, or exactly what I said earlier. I feel like there should be some sort. You should have to go through some sort of safety course, just like you do for a boater. To understand the rules of the water.
No.
One more Bud Light until you're.
No, sir. No, sir. I was one more Blue Moon until it looked like I was about 9 months pregnant, and I had to go back to a lower calorie beer.
But yeah, it's I don't know. It's just there, and it's not. To be perfectly honest, it's not just kayakers. We're picking on kayakers right now, but it's not just kayakers. It's the COVID boaters. It's the COVID fishermen.
Yeah.
That
it's the COVID fishermen, and then the snakehead thing also ramped up at the same time. So then you had a lot of guys go out. There were so many people that specifically got into fishing just to chase snakehead.
Oh yeah, COVID in general, just getting people into fishing.
Yeah,
that time frame got so many. The pleasure floaters.
I remember, obviously, Roy was always out on the water.
Oh yeah,
way before the snakehead craze and all of that stuff. But there were so many guys who never dipped a toe in the water until they...
Oh, yeah. The Guggen grabbers lining the channels with buoys. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Why do people who crab insist on putting their crab pots in the middle of the freaking channel? I don't get it.
It's because there's that freaking swing there. And the crabs will sit on that swing. But it's common sense says,
I get it.
Don't do this.
But if there's a swing there and you run, if somebody runs their traps in a normal manner. You can run your traps in the channel, but don't run them straight across the freaking channel.
Dude, my favorite is when they have, like, you got one crabber going this way and the other guy's going this way, and it's like crisscross applesauce. It's like,
you got one, then there's one in
dodging landmines today, boys. Like,
it makes like a triangle. Yeah.
Dodging some prop knots, baby. Let's
what
go.
I mean. Like, if you set up, like, if somebody has like their pots set up, in a certain way, run your pots in the same direction. And it's easy for boats to get around him because they don't have to, zigzag around them. If you just run them in the same way.
I think like the most hectic time of the year, other than obviously like the holidays, but like, dude, you get like hunting season comes in, crabbing season's in, bass fishing's in full swing, snakeheads are starting to pop back off again, and you got every mofo at the ramp that wants to use it.
Ramps have been pretty quiet.
But I mean, dude, when duck season kicks off and stuff, the early duck season, whatnot, dude, it'll be you got crabbers, duck hunters, bass fishermen, and the snakehead people at the ramp, and it gets crazy.
You know what's more annoying than the local crabbers putting buoys in the channel? The commercial crabbers at the mouth of every river. Running out of the bush or the gunpowder is like doing a slalom course.
Yeah.
And trying to dodge.
Dude, think about the guys that are just doing that in like 40 footers.
Trying to dodge crab traps when there's like 3 to 4 footers is not fun.
Well, dude, think about trying to dodge all those crab traps in a big ass center console or one of those big home boats or whatever it is, a freaking 50-foot Sea Ray or something.
Yeah, I mean, who does it in a 50-foot Sea Ray?
My neighbor.
That's
well, I don't know where you go. I mean, you have to go out when you're going towards Middle River. You go out towards Middle River. It's just boom. There's crab pots everywhere.
Oh yeah.
You just have to navigate your way through it.
Oh yeah. Oh, you mean driving one of those boats through it?
Yeah.
I thought you meant crabbing from it.
No. Imagine driving one of those big fat yachts through there, dude.
Like that. I mean, I drive a bass boat. Like I can just, I can saw the wheel back and forth. You can't do that in one of those boats.
Hell no. I'm like, you got to take the long way around, really.
I don't.
Sometimes there isn't.
I don't mind duck hunters, to be honest.
Nah, they don't ever bother me.
They don't bother me. Sometimes they get all mad when I run through their spread. But
yeah, that would piss me off too.
Don't put your spread in the middle of the channel. It's kind of like crab traps. Don't put them in the middle of the channel.
There's some of those decoys are expensive.
I'm not like running them over and tearing them up. Like I'm not so much of a jerk that I'm just gonna like blast through them at 50 miles an hour.
I haven't witnessed this personally, and I'm not enough of a dickhead to do this, but you could straight up you could duck hunt at a certain time of the year, and a bass boat could just pull right up on you and start fishing.
No, they can't.
Well, you're interfering with a hunt at that point. Yeah. But there's people that are uneducated that will do that. They don't realize what's going on. Hey, what's up, Steven?
I did that accidentally once. Because I'm kidding. I'm not. This guy was in like a belly boat, and dude, this thing was so well camouflaged. I pulled up like 30 yards from him and just thought it was a grass mat. And he sits up and goes, and I'm like, my bad. It was out on the flat.
You should have been like, bro, your camo is way too good right now.
I was like, oh crap, my bad. I'm out. I'm like, I'm sorry, man. I did not see you. And I just turned around and left. Like hunters don't really bother me.
Yeah, exactly. Or you hear one of them go.
Actually, this guy said, "What the fuck?" And I'm like, first of all, I looked around. I'm like, where the fuck did that come from? And then I see somebody sitting up, and I was like, oh, my bad, dude. Like I honestly, I didn't see you. I'll get out of here.
Did they say anything else to you?
No, he didn't. He said, all right. He just said, all right, and and I left. It was no big deal. I have pulled up on a goose hunter before. Many times, like the same goose hunter multiple times, because he hunts in the Northeast, very close to like residential areas, but like far enough away.
The legal limits.
legally.
Where the blinds. I mean, if it's a public spot, they got blinds and all that shit.
But he always sets up his decoys on the inside of this point. And so when you're running up the river and you set down, there's a pretty popular community hole there. When you run up and you set down, you don't see his decoys until you get past the point. Mm-hmm. So like I've done that. I've done that many times to him. He does not like it very much.
I mean, nobody likes when you interfere with kind of what they're doing, but it just.
But you can also be.
It's that time of the season, man. Like the bass fishing's good. You're getting first duck hunts of the season.
But you can also be, respectful to each other.
While it's on the top of my head, we're like duck hunting. But there's another. We have. If Scuba Steve is still in here, I think Scuba Steve is probably still watching with Little John. Dude, have you ever met the fella that is in an Aluminacraft John boat with the mud motor on the back of it? He's in the GP all the time.
No.
He's an older guy. Man, one day me and Steve went back to the Forbidden Zone to, what is going on?
Bothering me. The hook's caught up in the split ring.
Oh.
Like in a very weird way.
We went back to the Forbidden Zone and we started fishing the front point. And dude, we've been seeing this guy back there for years. Like, he fishes back there all the time. And we're fishing this point, casting into it. This dude trolling motors right over top of the shallow point on his way out. He could have gone right behind us into the channel and then into the channel on the way out, but he cut right in front of us. And as he's cutting in front of us, he looks down at his freaking live scope and he goes, "Oh, there's a couple fish there."
That's funny.
And I was like, dude, I wanted to so badly be like, no fucking way, man. Like,
oh my God, no way.
How long have you been fishing here? You know exactly what you just did. Yeah, that kind of pissed me off. Lil John, Scuba Steve, if you're still up in here, send a comment in.
Oh, these rotating hook hangers are a pain to get a split.
Yeah, dude, imagine cutting somebody off where they're fishing and then going past it on your freaking trolling motor and going, "Oh, look, there's some fish here." Like, wow, thanks.
Juan sharing a boat.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah, I think he lives right down the street from me.
No, he's not a bad dude. I've talked to him before. I'm not trying to say he's a bad person or anything like that, but it was one of them things where it happened and I was like, I know you've been fishing out here long enough to know that you shouldn't have done that. But I mean, whatever, man.
Yeah. You see all kinds of,
I'm out there pleasure fishing, dude. I don't care. It's just funny.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that happens out on the water that I think could just we get pissed off about, but it could really just be solved by having a conversation.
He said he gets Roy a bunch. Okay, so it must be pretty common.
He's trying to keep you out of his spot. Chad must have them big titty bitches texting him.
Yeah, big titty Phoebe's texting me right now.
Oh.
This is a big titty Phoebe. Come on. She says, "Oh, sorry, I didn't realize the time."
Yeah, I think a lot of these situations that we run into on the water could just be handled with a conversation.
Yeah.
I feel like that's we get so mad at people, oh, this guy cut me off, or this guy did this, and this guy did that, and then we just we talk to our friends and say this guy's an asshole instead of just being like, hey man, you pulled into me a little closer, I'd appreciate if you didn't, I would appreciate, I wouldn't do that to you, Can you not pull in so close? Something, you don't have to.
But
it doesn't have to be a screaming match.
Even sometimes you're not making it into a screaming match, but there's some people that just take you even addressing it as aggression.
And if they do,
and if they do, so many people just don't even.
And if they do, fuck them.
Yeah, but so many people don't even want to deal with that, so they just give them the evil eye and just move on. You know what I mean? That's what I do. I'm like, I don't even want to talk to you. I don't even want to get into it with anybody. Just, are you stupid?
The only thing,
and then I move on.
The only problem I see with that is if If you take that approach and that person does that to you again, it's your own fault.
Yes, absolutely. There is a point where you should know you shouldn't do that.
Oh, for sure.
But I mean, even at the highest level, the Elite Series, you got guys that do dumb shit like that. We had the one dude at the one point of the year turned his troll motor up, was blowing mud all over that guy's spot.
Yeah, in the open.
And then what we just had? What was it?
Well, I mean,
was it the Johnson brothers? Is that what it was?
Yeah. So
Freaking the whole buzzards.
Learning a little more about that. That's a giant community hole. That
right.
It's
a better way to go about doing it. Your own professional television or your national television.
So here's another thing that I've been thinking about with that, because I've kind of been listening to. I've listened to some Robert G interviews. I've listened to some Corey Johnson and Chris Johnson interviews. We need to stop making opinions about events and what people happen by what we see on the media, aka the television or the clips that they show us. Because they are not giving us the whole story. They are giving us what they think is going to get views. And that's what you see from all the social media people that are, that show, 15 seconds of a clip, that just shows. It is
the same way for the presidential race.
It's for everything. I mean, that's just that's social media these days. You're not getting, and it may not necessarily be false info.
Donald Trump, I'm for Donald Trump.
It's just not all of the info.
Yep.
So, I'm just at this point, when you talk about from the professional level, and there's all this drama and stuff, unless somebody even JT Tompkins, he got disqualified from the last tournament. I have no opinion on the dude. I'm not gonna just say, oh, I hate that dude because he cheated in a tournament that I'll never fucking fish. You know what I mean? I don't even. First of all, I don't even know if he cheated. Apparently for getting info, he says he didn't get info. They said he lied. He got another lie detector test done, and it showed that he wasn't lying. So, it's I try not to, unless there's hard evidence presented about something. Jeff Sprague. Jeff Sprague had, hard evidence released. There were, now MLF tried to cover it up, but because they tried to cover it up, there was a guy who had text messages from him.
Yeah, well, look at the credibility of MLF now.
Requesting information and lying about the no information rule. And telling the guy he was trying to get information from that, oh no, I can get information up until the off limits on the tournament, which he knew was false. So that's hard evidence. So that guy, fuck that dude. I have zero respect for that dude. But when it comes to things we don't often see, you think about lie detector, how accurate are lie detectors? I know it's the best that we have, but how accurate are they? Mm-hmm. Now, there are people that have never failed lie detectors because they didn't cheat. Just saying. But it's not that I have an opinion one way or another. I just don't have an opinion on it because it doesn't affect me. I'm trying to be a better person.
Musa.
And not let all this stupid negative stuff that we see on social media and on TV
every damn day.
You know what? You know what I care about? Hooking the skeeter up and catching some bass.
Catching some big titty bitches.
Some big girls. Trying to put some big girls in the skeet.
Hashtag big titty bitches.
Hashtag big girls getting skeetered on.
Trying to skeet on them bitches. Jim says yay. If they're so worried about them getting early info, then don't post or give info on the lakes they are going to fish in tournaments until a week before.
But see, the problem with that is the logistics. You have to be, guys have to be able to book rooms and
exactly.
Find, campground spots. So it's not really, that doesn't really make sense either. The smartest thing would be
old biddies.
When the schedule is out, nobody get info. Just don't do it. Be a decent human being and don't fucking cheat. But,
Don't be a lying sack of crap. Don't do it.
Dan says big girls give you shade in the summer and heat in the winter. All right.
I like that. Right on. Shade in the summer and heat in the winter. That's pretty good.
That is pretty good.
That's pretty good.
I don't know. I would if I'll let me. If I have to cheat to win a tournament, I would just stop fishing. Like if that's the only way that I could win a tournament, or I thought I could win a tournament, I would just stop fishing, because it takes all the legitimacy out of it for me. Like I don't like, for me, I guess me, like maybe my ethics are higher than other people's, but like, you know, if I know there's a no information rule and I get information to win that tournament, like I'm going to be thinking about that forever. Like, man, you know, every time somebody says, "Oh, you won that tournament," I'm gonna be like, like, well, you know, Chad told me, you know, Chad gave me the swim bait to throw.
Chad gave me some coordinates.
You know, Chad gave me some. Chad
Dude,
gave me some marks.
I did straight up unlock the tournament for you.
Maybe
I unlocked it.
we'll see.
Check it out.
We're gonna play around with this weekend.
Hook Paul up with the little old Clutch Eco Glide. That thing is sick. One thing I've been really hyped on here recently. I mean, obviously, I've always been hyped on throwing glide baits, but been very pumped on it recently. Very determined to get bid on them, and also gaining the confidence and step the size up, throwing 7 and 8 inch baits now.
Which tournaments, Jim? Because there's different rules for different tournaments. If you're talking about, if it's like the Opens, there is no information rule for the Opens. They can get information on that tournament up until the off limits, which is a week before the tournament.
I'm not sure what's legal, but we've even had one of the guys come on here and tell us that they went out with Scott Sewell way back in the day.
Yeah, so the no information rule for bass is actually relatively recent. MLF, again, depends on which MLF. The different rules for the different levels, Toyota series, and there's no information rule. I'm not sure about the the Pro series or whatever they call that one now. So you know, your Toyotas, you have a lot of pros that fish Toyotas, but they can get information for those Toyota tournaments because it's not against the rules. So a lot of people will do that. Now, I do know that Jeff Sprague, ding, 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 we mentioned that name earlier, would call every one of his friends in Florida whenever they went down there. And that was found out because one of the guys that he called on a regular basis, who didn't know that it was against the rules to give him information, was talking to another pro that the guy that he was friends with, and he was like, "Oh, why don't you ever call me when you come down here?" And they said, "Well, we can't get information." He goes, "Oh, Jeff calls me every time right before he comes down."
Dimed him right out. Yeah. Goodbye.
So, you know, it's again, like if that would ruin tournament fishing for me, and what tournament fishing does for me. You know, that competition aspect.
I thought it was just, dude, I just thought it was a freaking joke, honestly, when they came out with the information rule, and then the next day they were like, "Never mind, we're not going to do that." It's like, did you really, really honestly think that was a good idea? Like, you got so much backlash as soon as that hit social media that you actually repealed the rule.
Where it came from, nobody knows. Like, they have no idea. Like,
that's what I'm saying, Joe.
I saw a couple of pros talking, and like openly talking on like Instagram. Well, like in messages, we like, dude, like somebody posted a video and you're like, dude, didn't we vote against this at our last meeting? And they're like, yeah, 100%. Like literally every person there voted against it. And then they made the rule. And so I don't know if like maybe some communication got crossed or something there. Or, like, I don't know what they were trying to do, especially because it didn't make any sense. They just changed the Opens rules. Mm-hmm. Earlier this year, to where that the Opens anglers could not get information on any of the lakes in the Elite Series. once the schedule was released. So they were basically under the same no information rule for those lakes. So why? I mean, it didn't make any sense if you change that rule and then you just open up information anyway. Like now you have contradicting rules. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I'm glad that they reversed it, but it never should have been out there in the first place.
No, it shouldn't have been.
Joe said he would call that dude Jim Fallon. I don't know what dude you're referring to, but
Jim Fallon?
No, he said he would call that dude. I don't know who that dude is.
Who's that dude?
Yeah,
we know Jim Fallon. We just don't know who that dude is.
I missed your comment in the course of the conversation, so I can't follow. But yeah, I'm gonna throw a glide bait this weekend a little bit. See what happens. I don't really have much to. I'm not fishing for much, so
yeah,
you know.
I just have a lot of fun doing it. It's been really cool. Moving up to throw in like 7, 8 inch. This is a Fish Everything TS 7-inch shad. And I don't know what Vic's paint is on this, but this thing's sick. Very nice glide, and then
it's very gizzardy.
It is.
I think it is his gizzard shad anyway.
It's perfect for what we got going on around here.
What did you do?
I hit a button.
Ah, I know that one.
And then been throwing this a lot from Mr. Mike Buca. We got the 7-inch trick shad with Jen's paint. Jen's paint is sick. Absolutely worth the money for Jen's paint. And then I did decide that I was going to put a tracking sticker on the front of it. But this glide bait's sick. I've caught many fish on it. I did have to take a little bit of time. Now, Mike's got a tuning chamber in most of his baits. I did take a little bit of time and added some of these 1 gram weights here to the bottom of this glide to change my sink rate. And this bait is working like an absolute savage. Big, long glides, good chops. The followers I've had on this bait have surpassed the smaller baits. It is true when you do step up to that next size profile, the attention that you get is it'll move up. You will see more followers. It'll make you frustrating, but you know they're there.
Jim said get rid of that geek sticker on the front.
I have to know where it is.
You can't tell. You should be able to feel it in your rod.
I can feel it. But
So
I like being able to see it on the surface if I'm running it over top of a laydown.
I think in reference to being able to see it, he said go to the 9-inch.
Okay.
So since Joe Mannion had mentioned this, there is the donk.
Blacktown Customs donk boy.
This was actually mine at one point, and I am not big into the swim bait game, so I sold it to Chad with another bait that he throws a lot.
Yep.
Or that he's caught quite a few fish on, a burrito, a Baca burrito, which
Baca
also came
burrito.
from Mike Buca.
Yep.
That's where I purchased it.
But
this I won this swim bait, and this is a bad bitch.
that thing is sick.
I really like this thing.
Yeah.
It has a super, super wide glide.
You can make it glide super wide. It chops phenomenally as well. It chops very good.
Chad been fishing this thing.
I've been fishing the shit out of that.
Wearing some paint off that bitch.
Yeah, I've been fishing. Dude, it's definitely one of my favorite glides. And when I went up to the 7-inch trick shad, I was just like, I'm already at the 7-inch trick shad. I need to just step it up even just a little bit more and just see what happens. Now, I have a different rod for that, so I could still have my 7-inch baits.
It must have worked out well. And you were like, oh man, I should fix up 9 bait. Hey Chad, you want to buy this?
Yeah. Boom. But yeah, I mean, Jim, I'm still learning this thing. It was literally just the last 2 times I was out, I finally got this thing dialed in a little bit better with the weights on the belly. So I'm just trying to I'm really just trying to learn and visualize with each reel handle movement, each chop, what that bait is doing.
You're fishing tomorrow, right, Brian?
But I'm still in the point right now where I can use that little sticker to visualize it a little bit better. And then once I have it embedded in my brain with every reel chop, this is what I'm getting from this bait, I'll take that sticker off. But I had to tune this thing differently than it was to get it to work right. And so I'm just working with it.
All right. I'll see you in the morning, buddy. Brian's got to go down to the Potomac. He's trying to take my number one spot away from me.
I drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was B-Rye.
Yeah, he's trying to take my number one spot from me.
He's coming for you.
He's coming for me.
You still fishing out that nitro, buddy?
No, he bought Kevin Skeeter.
Yeah, stupid. Yeah, he's got Kevin Skeeter.
But tomorrow he's fishing. He'll be with Tom Bavaro and Tom's boat, I'm sure.
Well, that's quite the group right there. That's quite the group of fishermen on one boat.
So it's
quite the partnership.
It's Tom and Brian versus Paul and Frank for the Angler of the Year win.
That's like two steamrollers coming at each other at full speed. I like it.
We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes.
Bass Wars. When you get a follow on that dump, give it a hard whack and a crack. Get it to roll over. Dude, I've had some insane followers on this thing. I've also had rockfish freaking come up and destroy this.
There's a lot of semen on the poop deck.
Yes, there's much semen on the poop deck. I like this bait. It's a sick ass.
It's okay. It's super cool bait.
I had heard about it. I'd heard about it and seen them, and then you like texted me and you're like, "Do you want to buy this?" And I was like, "Yeah."
I threw it in Texas.
I'm not going to be able to get one if I don't buy it now.
I threw one in Texas a little bit, but I threw that one in Texas a little bit specifically. But
thank you for not hanging it up on a log.
Yeah, I'm surprised I didn't. There were a lot, and when I say a lot of standing timber down there.
Big time.
Like forests under the water. Like not like, like standing timber, straight up and down, everywhere.
So, and I'm going to give you guys a little looky-loo here, in case some of you aren't educated on glides. This is a 6-inch trick shad. This is a 7-inch trick shad, and I'm just gonna.
Me neither, Brian. Me neither.
That is the profile difference in the 6 and the 7-inch baits.
That's a pretty big difference.
It is a big difference. It is a very big and noticeable difference, and the followers you get on the bigger bait is also quite noticeable. Stepping up gave me more confidence in glide baits, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And I am definitely looking forward to accumulating more 8 and 9 inch.
Chad,
baits.
I don't think you needed any more confidence in glide baits because that's all you throw.
What's fun? I like it. I like going out there.
And that's all that matters.
I like going out there for 6 hours and watching 2 fish follow my bait. It's fun.
If that's what you find fun, more power to you, buddy.
I pick up a jig every once in a while when I get tired, and then I don't get bit on that either. So I go back to the glide bait because I feel like it's the same.
Maybe we just need to teach you how to fish a jig.
I just need to learn how to bass fish. I just know how to throw glides in big top water.
I have seen you wreck them on a Rico before.
Oh yeah, I've destroyed them on a Rico. Actually, hang on. Dude, Benny.
See, that's not fun and relaxing to me because I need to be catching fish
Yeah.
to be
Shake
relaxed.
it, baby. Shake your buttocks.
The old Sherpa gill.
Ooh, what we got here? Oh, we got Jamie McLean. What's up, Jamie? Thanks for joining, brother. I think I remember Jamie from the Maryland bass fishing page.
Yeah.
He's throwing the KGB glides around. Okay. I think he caught a couple nice fish that he posted.
Apparently, he's throwing the 8-inch bull shad too.
Ah, there you go. Love it.
I can
love it. And Sherpa gill, man. Topwater Sherpas. Absolutely love this bait. Well, I don't know if you remember quite, but when that Psycho gill from Lanciotti was out, I felt as though that this was something that was very equivalent, and
$50 Sherpas. Let me know.
To.
I'll buy a Sherpa for $50.
So it's this one.
It's $50.
Actually, no, I lied to you. I bought that one for $60. This is the mini Sherp. And this mini Sherp, they have a bunch of them online for like $50 right now.
No shit.
But Pasong did not make the mini Sherpers last year. He partnered with somebody, and they have excess.
Who cares?
No, he just can't warranty it.
Oh, that's right. Because he didn't make it.
Exactly.
Yeah, for $50, I don't care.
No.
I mean, I paid $70 for I paid $70 for a Spro KGB.
This is a fish catching hammer. The now
Not worried about
obviously
it,
this isn't the full size mini full size. But
Jim, I've caught
difference here.
thousands of fish in the last 4 years. But for me, it's not about hunting the biggest fish. What I get the most joy out of with bass fishing is figuring out the predominant pattern on any given body of water on any given day. So that's what I find fun, is unlocking the puzzle.
Being able to be an efficient fisherman no matter where you go.
Right. Like, it doesn't matter. Well, I'm not, yes, but more so that, like, yes, please.
I didn't ask.
I know. That's my, wherever I'm at that day, that's always my goal. Is I want to figure out what the predominant pattern is that day, and you'll see, Rob went fishing with me one time, and we ran this one grass line. I caught like 8 off this grass line, like in one pass, in like 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. And we get to the end of the grass line, and I'm like, all right, pack up, like we're gonna move.
Shut up, Patrick.
And Rob just turns around and looks at me and goes, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, we're gonna go over this other spot." And he's like, "But you just caught 8." And to me, it was, that's okay. I caught them here doing this. Can I duplicate that over here? That's the part of bass fishing that I love.
This is the part of bass fishing that I love. I like it.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm gonna miss the one on the 21st, Brian. That's my birthday weekend, and we got too much going on with the Potomac and stuff, with the semifinals coming up, and then the Pocomoke. So I'm skipping the one on the 21st.
I have to say,
but I'll be there. I'll probably be there in October.
As I'm sitting here comparing these two baits, 7-inch Fish Everything TS, 7-inch Bull Shad. Slight difference in the profiles. One thing that I notice about both of these baits that stands out to me, and I think makes a difference. Look at how much detail Mike and Victor put into the gills. All right, now you might not think it makes a difference or whatever. I think the detail put into these gills on each one of the bait makes them stand out from other baits.
I think for fishermen, yes.
Yeah.
I don't think bass give a shit.
Probably not. You're right.
But on the other hand, if you're going to pay $150 for a bait, like
it's art.
You might want it to look nice.
It's a piece of art. The paint's great. The detail in the bait is great, but then again, the more natural something looks as well.
Dude, we catch fish.
How many times could you freaking throw a freaking piece of gum out in the water and catch something on it too, though?
We catch them on Senkos.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that just looks like a piece of goose shit floating in the water.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's very natural, though. What's not natural about goose shit?
We say that.
Yeah, you're right, Joe.
We catch fish on, we catch them on chatterbaits.
So, definitely very, very valid point. The bass probably do not care. I sure as hell love it, though, because it looks great.
Chatterbaits don't look like anything in the water. But, no, I think color definitely makes a difference. I don't think the extreme detail makes a difference.
Boone. If I could pick any color any day, that's what I'm throwing.
Yeah, it works just about everywhere.
That one bone. Works anywhere,
whatever
everywhere.
The watercolor, all watercolors.
Yeah, all watercolors, doesn't matter. Bone. That's what I would have.
Them fuzzy dice. Them fuzzy dice catch them fish.
Did you see that video I sent you? That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
The little fuzzy dice.
I found that funny that guy released that video like 2 days after they did the interview with Michael Neal, who won the BPT on the St. Lawrence by making his own fuzzy dice exactly like that guy.
Wait, so he made his own? He wasn't actually sponsored by them?
He took a Senko. He either took a Senko or a Maxent General. I can't remember. I can't remember what he said, but it was just a stick bait. Cut it into pieces and then took a jig skirt.
Well, I mean, at the same time, also you got to think about it, Joe. They freaking Deps came out with a cover scat that literally just looks like a freaking goose turd floating down in the water, and they freaking slurped that right up.
You know what I noticed about the cover scat? Is that one still laying here? I saw a picture of one the other day, and I noticed something about them.
Aha!
Oh, maybe it wasn't the cover scat. It must have been the other one.
One of the missile baits ones?
No, not the missile baits ones. One of the other Japanese companies has one. It might be Amakatsu.
Okay.
But this on the bottom side, it looks like two crayfish claws.
Okay. Yeah.
So
the
way it's designed, I'm like, oh, that's kind of neat. I thought it was it might have been Amakatsu.
I mean, the cat's out of the bag on this bait, but I gotta say this has been one.
See you, Patrick. Have a good night.
See you, Pat. I gotta say this has been one of my favorite baits to pitch into grass pockets and laydowns and whatnot. It's got a different action than so many of the other baits do. It's incredibly weedless, and dude, they bang on these things. They really do. Like they have straight up banged on this bait.
So I don't fish that bait in particular, but I've been through. Over the last couple of years, I've thrown the Yamatanuki quite a bit. Same concept.
Yeah, same exact concept.
So,
but dude,
it's just a heavy. It's just a heavy chunk of plastic that falls fast.
The cat's out of the bag. I'm gonna keep on throwing depths because it's what I believe in. But obviously, freaking Rapala and
does Rapala have one?
I think Rapala makes one.
I don't think.
I'm pretty sure that Missile Baits is making
Missile
one.
Missile Baits has the
Spro
Bomba.
makes one.
Spro did. That's right. Spro did come out with one.
And then somebody else came out with one as well.
Yeah, the Yamatanuki, Depths. I think Amakatsu has one. Another JDM bait.
Did Strike King make one?
I don't think so.
No.
I haven't seen one. And I throw a lot of Strike King soft plastics. Feel like that would be something that I run across. I think 90% of my plastics in my boat are either Strike King or Maxent.
That's all it is, Jim. It's literally just a plastic goose turd. It's got a little hook hider right here where this pimple is on the back. Stick the hook in there.
It's a turd. And
just throw that bitch in any grass pockets. It's got a different profile and a different rate of fall. This is a phenomenal bait. If you tournament fishing, dude, this is a great bait.
I fish them like a jig.
Yeah. I mean, dude, you could weight them too. You could definitely weight them. I don't know if you're gonna.
So I think
obviously not gonna get the same action.
The Yamatanuki is a little heavier, so you get a pretty decent fall rate on it. And I fish it. Yeah, it's the Yamatanuki is quite a bit heavier.
I'll send it to you, Jim.
I fish it weightless, and I flip it the same places that I flip a jig.
Yep.
And it's just you get a little.
It's just that little that fall rate is just different.
And then the Yamatanuki's got that little tail, and that little tail just kind of wiggles like this.
Yep.
And it gets bit sometimes, especially like if it's it's like a tough bite type day, and they're just not eating the jig because I throw a jig everywhere I go. I'm a jig guy. I throw a jig on forward facing sonar.
I do have to say, since some of our conversations, I do 100% of the time have a jig tied on.
Better be a big jig.
It is.
Dirty jigs.
Half-ounce dirty jigs or Beast Coast.
I just got a couple I just ordered. What I get 8.
Peep the old Beast Coast sticker up there on the wall. I like me some Beast Coast. I
like
that they label their stuff. I like their eyes. I like their skirts. And then you can't go wrong with dirty jigs either. Dirty jigs, Beast Coast, and missile jigs.
I got some dirty jigs because I was too lazy to make jigs. So they cost me twice as much as it cost me to make jigs. But
yeah.
I also didn't have to buy, $150 worth of crap.
Hey, man, our good buddy Matt Heron helped develop the dirty jig.
One of them, yeah.
One of them, the Matt Heron.
Yeah, he's got his Matt Heron flipping jig. Real short shank, made for like a chunk style trailer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm using I can't remember which dirty jig. I think it's the HP, the high performance. And it uses the
HP Tournament.
Yeah. It uses the same head design and keeper on as the jig heads that I use when I make my jig. I don't pour my own jigs. I buy a jig head from More Parts Online, but the one from Dirty Jigs, same keeper, same head style. So I was like, oh, perfect. Like, I'll just buy the eight of these and I'm good for the rest of the year. Over the winter, I'll just buy a whole bunch of stuff and I'll make like...
The Ned Bomb is killer.
See, I've never caught a fish on the Ned Bomb.
Really?
Yep.
Love the
never
Ned
caught a
Bomb.
fish on it.
Dude,
never
the Ned
caught
Bomb
a fish on
is
it.
sick. Absolutely love the Ned
I like
Bomb.
it. It's a freaking phenomenal idea.
Dude, that freaking tail.
But
with
I've
that
never
little color on the end of it.
I've never caught a fish on. I have like 6 packs of them at home. They're actually in my co-anchor bag right now.
Dude, a freaking Ned Bomb and a baby D Bomb. That's like all you need.
Do you see they actually made a Ned D Bomb?
Did they?
Yeah,
That's pretty sick.
It's
the micro. It's like a micro D Bomb.
Micro D Bomb or something like something like that.
Yeah, I think I remember it now that we're bringing it up.
But it's like a Ned size, it's like this big.
It's a D Bomb, but they had the Z crawl and they had the not a rage bug, but they had something else that from Z-Man that already represented 2 different types of crawls.
From Z-Man?
Yeah, Z-Man. They have the Ned crawl. They have the crawl that looks like the crawdad with the pinchers that come off.
Right.
And then they have the one that looks like a normal creature bait, like a sweet beaver.
Yeah, that's the palmetto bug.
Yes. And now I guess they're going to have the micro D-Bomb.
That's Missile. Missile's the D-Bomb. Not Z-Man.
Look, the beers are just now starting to kick in.
That's why I was confused when you started talking.
Yeah,
about Z-Man.
sorry. I don't know where we went with that.
So they have the D-Bomb, the D-Bomb Junior, or the mini D-Bomb, whatever.
It's a baby D-Bomb.
And now they have is it a baby D-Bomb or micro D-Bomb?
They have micro D-Bomb, the baby D-Bomb, and then the full-size D-Bomb.
Yes. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Which, love the D-Bomb.
I don't. That bait sucks.
How many people do still throw or like, what is that very popular Guggen plastic?
The Bandito bug?
The Bandito bug.
Fuck Guggen.
Huh?
Fuck Guggen.
I'm not into Guggen whatsoever either, but that is a very popular thing that, in my opinion, really mimics that missile baits.
Nice, Joe. So that's something that I've never really talked about. What's got no action, Brian?
Yeah, what's got no action?
So the Helgermite imitations, I have used those a lot.
You might be talking about the Ned Bomb.
Not necessarily from. I've used it a lot in like creek and river fishing, wade fishing. Yeah, D-Bomb's got no action. It's terrible. It's the worst bait ever.
The Ned doesn't have any action either.
Yeah, I'm talking about the full-size D-Bomb. It sucks. It's terrible. Terrible bait. Nobody should use
I don't
that.
think it is. I don't think it's bad.
I think it's terrible.
There's a lot of baits that don't have any action.
It's a horrible bait. It's just bad.
I've caught way too many fish on them.
Nobody throws it. Nobody throws that. It's terrible.
Scuba Steve throws them. We hammered them on them.
I mean, I would never throw them.
Well, it's a good thing you're about to go into the fucking Elite Series.
Do you have any idea how many D-Bombs are in my boat?
0?
Probably more than you've ever owned in your life.
Why do you have them if you don't catch on them?
Put it this way, I buy them by the 25 pack.
Okay. Well, I guess you won't be buying a 25 pack anymore.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to last me forever because I don't ever throw them because they're terrible.
This is the backups.
Yeah. I mean, just in case my Bandito bugs run out.
So what's the go-to? What's the go-to flipping bait?
D-Bomb. That's literally the only flipping bait I throw. Occasionally I'll throw a rage bug.
I like the rage bugs.
But 90% of the time I throw a D-Bomb.
I like I think that the rage bug or the
I really think it's confidence though. Like
I like the menace grub a lot.
Yeah,
it's that very slender profile, but it doesn't have the same.
I use that for a trailer a lot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
For as far as a flipping bait goes,
yeah,
I think it doesn't matter any of those beaver style baits. It doesn't matter which one you throw. I don't think most of the time. It's just which one you have confidence in. Whether it be like the Z-Man palmetto bug,
I like
the D-bomb, the sweet beaver, they all work. Shit, what? All right, it's a D-bomb. Everybody throws a D-bomb.
Everybody throws a D-bomb. We've been talking about the D-bomb all the time. Everybody throws a D-bomb. If it's a D-bomb or a sweet beaver.
D-bomb, sweet beaver. And like I said, it doesn't really matter, in my opinion, which one you throw. It's just what you have confidence in. You know, if you have confidence in a sweet beaver,
they're the sweet beaver.
I mean, everybody loves sweet beaver.
Mm-hmm. Who doesn't like sweet beaver?
If you have confidence in sweet beaver, throw sweet beaver. If you have confidence in I know guys who throw that Z-Man palmetto bug religiously. We talked about sweet beaver and Chad had to send a text
to my beaver.
So, I know guys who swear by that palmetto bug. There's guys that like the Straight King KVD rodent. There's so many of them out there, and they're so similar. Just throw what you have confidence in.
Yeah, I mean, if you put the bait in front of the fish,
that's the thing. Most of the time,
thing for the most part.
You put the bait in front of the fish most of the time, and then they'll eat it.
But everybody's got different confidence things going on. Everybody's got different confidence things going on.
And don't worry, Brian. I didn't tell him what I normally flip. It's definitely not a D-bomb. My number one flipping bait is definitely not a D-bomb.
I don't flip. It's
the one thing I throw.
I just throw 7-inch. I flip 7-inch glide baits into a laydown.
And please don't hang up. Please don't hang up. Please don't hang up.
That's why you got to have the ones that are low float and high float.
Yeah, I mean, and there's a lot of flipping bait. I mean, some people they're confident, like their confidence flipping bait is a Senko. Texas rig Senko on a 1/4 ounce weight.
But dude, you can't argue against that though.
The
Senko has been one of the most fish producing baits to ever come out on the market.
You gotta you gotta go with what you have confidence in. I think that's what most people lack. They try to chase the hot bait, and you see it everywhere. You see it in the swim bait world, right? Where there's that certain bait, that certain glide bait that's the hot bait for that year.
Everybody has to have.
You got to have one,
bait.
and then they
have
start selling for like $300 and $400 in resale, and because everybody's got to have it because one dude caught a 10-pounder on it one time in California, where a 10-pounder is not even that freaking big.
That I don't know why, but every once in a while that happens in the swim bait community, like when the Lanciati lures came out with the Psycho Gill.
Yep.
Dude,
everybody had to have those.
Everybody had to have the PG.
And
had to have it.
I mean, they look sick.
Fuck yeah, they do.
Cool. They're
really
cool
sick.
looking freaking baits.
That's why I bought the freaking Sherpas, because I couldn't get a hold of a PG, and I was like, that's basically the same thing.
But like the TK, that was big for a while.
Huge.
Yeah.
Now you got guys online, you can't freaking sell enough of them.
Right. That was huge. You can't
get rid of them. You can't get rid of them.
You couldn't TKs would drop and sell out in less a couple of minutes
for big money.
For
big money.
Well, retail. I'm just talking retail.
Well, yeah. I'm now, talking used market.
And now, you can pick up a TK pretty much at will. Yeah. In pretty much whatever color you want.
The TK is definitely a versatile bait. I think they are a little bit cheaper made, honestly. I fished my TK for one day. Now, granted, I did hit it into a rock, but it snapped the bill off the first time it hit the rock. That thing was gone.
Yeah, that's why they make replaceable bills.
They make the replaceable bills, and the tail made a difference. The bill makes a difference. It changed the complete action of the bait depending on what's going on. I think it's a very unique bait, and I do like it.
Jim, they're like Jordans. Swim baits are like Jordans. People just buy and sell them. They buy them just to own them.
They do. It's like swim baits are like a collector's item for a lot of people.
Jim, I have watched my buddy catch multiple fish on a TK in crankdown mode, smallmouth and largemouth. in places that I would never have thrown.
The only
thrown something
TK
like
I
that.
have has the V-tail, and it's the Toxic collab. I like that. I like that Toxic collab.
Oh, that's
TK
like
when they
that
came out
pink,
with it
that
a
like
lot.
pink bluegill color. Yeah,
Yeah, that thing it's pretty sick. I've caught fish on it.
I'm pretty sure that's the one that I watched my buddy catch a
Yep.
3-pound smallmouth on. That exact color.
I do believe it was.
And then immediately looked at it and went, "Oh, that's not going to help me," and threw it back. And I looked at the guy on my boat and said, "We are fucked."
What color was the K9?
What color was that K9 that he was throwing down there? I want to say that it was like it was one of the like bait fish colors, if I remember right.
I want to get a K9 or two and screw around with them.
It might have been a yellow perch color. No, his hinkle was yellow perch. His hinkle trout.
A yellow perch hinkle.
Yellow perch hinkle trout.
I would have wanted a normal. It's a hinkle trout.
Yeah.
See, I would have
So it just looks like
it
looks like a big yellow. It looks like a big yellow, like a giant yellow perch.
I have zero confidence in trout profile here. Zero confidence in trout profile around here.
I just saw somebody say my boy throws a K9 and then like it disappeared. I think our system messed up there, but there's a lot of baits that really do work, but it's so hard to get anything because people want to buy them and hang them on a wall. Yeah. I have the DRT, but I can't figure out that bait to save my life. My friend of mine just fishes it in crankdown mode. Like, basically fishes it almost like a crankbait.
Reading the comments. I can't catch shit on the TKs. I'm trying to find the freaking K9 comment, but it's gone.
Right. Maybe he deleted it. I don't know.
Yeah, no, Jim, you're right. A lot of those, if there's a hype bait on the market, and you know damn well right now, the trick shad, this is a hype bait. This is a very hype bait. If Mike Buca does a trick shad drop,
I saw it in minutes.
this is gone in 15 minutes. Gone. Can't get them until the next drop. Now, granted, Mike is phenomenal with coming out with drops.
Oh, there it is. My boy tosses a K9 on the boat all the time, but they show me no love. Does he catch it? Does your buddy catch him on the K9? I'm just curious. I've always liked the K9. I just think it's a sick looking bait.
Yeah.
And I like that you can do so many different things with it by changing the tail, changing the lip, taking the lip out. You basically have like 4 or 5 baits in one. That's my favorite part about the K9 and the TK. I mean, the TK is obviously the same way, but the perch is his favorite. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, yellow perch are everywhere. I mean, that's got to be like a good all around color to have. I mean, it doesn't really matter where you're fishing. There's generally yellow perch. Well, in this part of the country anyway. I know. Are you up in Jersey, Joe? Did I see that earlier? Yep. Yeah. Anywhere from Maryland north, it's the lakes are all loaded with yellow perch. So I mean that's always going to be a good color in the Northeast. Yeah, I agree, Jim. He says most of the guys they buy them, hold them a week or two, and then try to resell them, and so other people can't get them. If you're not going to fish it,
But
don't
that's
take it
why
away from guys who will.
a lot of the bait makers make limits on the baits that you can buy now, so guys can't just buy 20 of them at a time. You can only get 1 or 2 at a time now on some of these drops. Like KGB, I don't think you can buy 5 or 6 glides from KGB. You can only get like 1 or 2 per drop.
Yeah, I think it's 2. Yeah, it sucks. I mean, it really does, and I really feel the same way that like it sucks for the people who actually want to fish the baits. Knowing, that a lot of these bait builders are, they're making these baits to fish. Like I know that Mike is making these baits to fish.
Yes.
So, these resellers or, these wall hangers, like it just annoys me.
Big time. I don't I've never understood it. Why spend $300 on a bait so that you can hang it on your wall?
I never understood why you spend $300 on a bait anyway. To be honest, like that's just...
I can understand that. I'm with you. I haven't personally spent $300 yet either.
No, I mean, didn't mean you. I just meant like in general, why somebody would spend $300.
But they do, and they hang them on the wall, and it's like
Joe says they eye fuck them.
Wouldn't it just be a better talking piece if you actually caught a fucking fish on one?
Right. Like I feel like
you actually caught a fish on that monstrosity of a lure.
I could hang that on the wall, or I could hang the picture of that hanging in the mouth of a 6-pounder on the wall.
Exactly.
Well,
that's what I'm trying to do. And then the thing is, it's like there's guys like me, it's still like I'm cool with Mike and Jim and everything, but like, dude, I miss the freaking trick shad drops all the time when I want to get on trick shad.
Yeah. I mean, I still get emails for their drops.
Yeah.
And like, it's usually like I'm usually working when they drop.
Oh.
Or like I'm doing, like I never get a chance to, because there's certain baits that I would like to have, but I'm not paying over retail for them.
Dude, I throw the shit out of these things, Jim. Like, it honestly affects my days, because there's days where I could probably be tearing them up on a freaking spinner bait, and I just won't put down a glide bait.
But like I've always told you, if that's what you find, if that's what you get enjoyment out of in fishing, do it.
Yeah, do it. Do it.
Or they take the bait on the boat and hang the bait from the fish's mouth with the bait completely dry.
So, so any of my swim bait buddies in here, we got Joe up in the house. Jim is still in here. You guys ever use Leviathan rods? Anybody have a Leviathan rod that they use? What's your opinion on it? I did just order a Leviathan rod, probably 7 days ago, and they gave it to the post office, and I have gotten 0 updates from the post office in over a week now. It still says it's sitting in Texas.
I mean, so USPS?
Yes.
So they are very, very bad at updating their stuff. So you'll probably get it updated when it's going to get delivered. USPS is terrible.
I would have just thought that 7 to 8 days later it would have been here by now.
You never know.
Joe, I was in between the F5 ghost code and the
to be fair, I told him
Leviathan.
I told him to get a ghost code.
He told me to get the ghost code. You want to know why I went with Leviathan? It had nothing. The price was literally identical. Leviathan donated 10% of the purchase to children's homelessness or something like
charity,
that. Yeah, to a charity. And I was like, all right. Hang on a second. I have to scream at my dog. Dog! Whatever you are doing, stop doing it!
Oh, is it the ghost code's a North Fork blank?
Or iRod. Well, I already have an iRod.
Good rod, very light. I've seen it broke easy. Warranty took forever. 3 rods broke in a few months. Buddy gave up and went to a Dobbins bullshit 836. Leviathan's a North Fork composite blank. Okay, that's awesome. So it's
an iRod blank.
No, North Fork Composites is Gary Loomis's new company.
Oh no shit. Okay, right
yeah.
on.
Yeah, those are pretty good blanks. They just like Loomis though, they tend to be a little brittle because they're super sensitive.
Okay, well that will be where Jim comes into the they broke easy and the warranty took forever.
North Fork makes some sick blanks though. But yeah, that's Gary Loomis's new company after he sold that he made after he sold G Loomis.
I had almost forgotten about the Bullshad swim bait rod line.
The Dobbins bullshit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dobbins Champion bull shad line paired up with the 7-inch bull or the freaking 8 or 9-inch trick shad.
There's so many good. Honestly, there's so many good swim bait rods out now. Like all of the major manufacturers.
I mean, you got Lowdown, F5, Leviathan,
I mean, talking
like
your major
Dobbins,
like your normal manufacturers. Like
they have a whole swim bait lineup.
Since now. That's all, since that's become
mainstream
big,
at this point.
St. Croix makes a pretty good swim bait rod now. Shimano makes a pretty good swim bait rod.
I mean, Joe already knows. Joe's been throwing swim baits back before it was way popular. I helped Joe. I talked to Joe, dude. Man, that had to be 6 or 7 years ago, Joe. At this point, where I got one of my first topwater rats from Joe through Darby Creek Custom Lures, and that's how I got connected with Joe.
Now, see, that's something I could get into throwing.
Some rats.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I could definitely get down with that.
Dude, it's situational. It's definitely situational. I've put a lot of time in on a rat and not gotten anything. It's
I could definitely. I know specific times when I would fish that, mostly at night.
You use the Dobbins bullshad rods, Jim?
Yeah, I think that's what he said. I know a friend of mine that used to come to Lake Anna with us. Through me and him went out night fishing one night, and he was throwing a Spro BBZ rat.
Yes, dude, that Buca baby rat is insane. The detail in that rat is wild. You should check them out.
Yeah,
that's from Mike's new company too. It's not like the Trick Shad line. It's like the Ketchco line.
Is that the? Oh, okay, yeah.
But it's like a freaking 4-inch rat, and the detail was insane.
Yeah, so my friend, we went out night fishing. He was throwing the Spro BBZ rat, and he caught it like, I think we caught like 5 that night. Like I think I caught 3 on a plopper. He caught 2 on that rat. That was pretty cool. So I could definitely get down with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would be interested in throwing one of those. My favorite rat that I have is the sneaky rat.
FYI, I went out the next night and blasted them on a buzzbait.
Yeah.
I mean, blasted them. I destroyed them the next night. They kept missing my plop. I was throwing a plopper the first night, and they kept missing it. It was too damn dark to retie.
What is this dog doing?
So the next night we went out, and I tied on a buzzbait, and I just wrecked them. It was pretty sweet. Yeah, that BBZ rat, like I like that action, and it has that. It's weird because it seems like that. Yeah.
Ugh.
What?
I like the Spro rats.
That's the Spro BBZ.
Is it the Spro BBZ?
Yeah. That like pink color, for some reason, gets bit the best.
I don't even own one. That would be why I don't.
I mean, it's a decent decent rat that's cheap.
Oh, that's what I was thinking of. The Spro also had one of those multi-joint BBZ, like
The BBZ shad.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. I don't. Those are junk.
They catch.
But I think the rats are nice though.
They catch.
With that BBZ, I'd rather
That
throw
BBZ
something.
that BBZ shad catches fish.
I would rather throw a bull shed,
Well, different.
like a 5-inch.
Like a regular bull shad.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, same kind of concept.
Have you seen the 5-inch bull sheds? Looks just like that, just even better. Because Mike Buca's the man.
Joe said he's been on an elude rat kick.
Ooh.
A rad rat.
I've never thrown any of the elude stuff. What's your opinion, Joe?
Well, he said the knock's insane.
Knock's insane. Have you ever thrown the sneaky rat? I have. Actually, I almost had 2 of Brady Scott's sneaky rats, but dude, that rat is insane. The clack is freaking wild. Or the Nez rat back in the day.
There was one rat that I thought was sick. I can't remember which one.
It was a big Nez rat from 21st Century Swimbait Company, like Triple Trout.
Oh,
Nez
yeah.
Made the Nez rat.
Yep, really.
Dude, that rat's pretty legendary. I haven't seen. Are they still?
That triple trout? That's a hot bait. That bait. Yeah. That'll kill. That bait kills.
That's a nice reservoir bait. It's a very good reservoir bait because you do have trout in the reservoirs. Yeah.
Never tossed a sneaky, but the rig is another good one.
OD reg. Mm-hmm. What about Man, I am totally brain farting on reckless rodents. Reckless rodents are sick.
So one of the big
is it reckless rodents OD rat though, or is it the OD rat? Reckless rodents makes a sick ass rat.
This is kind of a swim bait. I mean, it's a swim bait, but one of the big things on the blueback herring lakes is the old Seville Magic Swimmer. It was a multi-jointed, very very skinny multi-jointed swim bait, like a five. I think it made like a 5-inch and a 6-inch. I think originally it was like a striper bait.
Do you want one more?
No, I'm good. I think originally it was like a striper bait, but it kills on those blueback herring lakes. I used to have
a blue moon.
I used to have a couple. I don't know what happened to them.
Jim's definitely been putting a hurting on some fish with that new 5-inch 4x4 that Mike dropped.
That mutant rat does look cool. I saw
looks
some
sick.
pictures of that.
The mutant rats do look pretty cool. I wonder if that's just like a cosmetic thing that people like, or if they actually get bit.
I'm guessing it's just a cosmetic thing. I don't think it really matters, to be honest. I think profile and sound, just the color, everything. I don't think that makes a difference.
Yeah.
Color. I mean,
sound. For
color.
Sure.
Like color, basic color makes a difference. But just like we're talking about swim baits, like, I really don't think there's a difference between this and this from a fish's perspective. Maybe,
yeah, probably not.
Maybe if I'm in cleaner water, maybe I'll throw something like this because it's not quite as, it's a little toned down versus this. But really, like that's, I'm not throwing this because, oh my gosh, this looks like a real fish.
Dude, I don't think it
because
matters.
I catch bait. I catch fish on jigs. I catch fish on D-bombs. I catch fish on sweet beavers. You catch fish on Senkos. Like, I don't think 100% natural.
I really love this like bloodshed. This like bloodshed is fucking sick.
What I do like about that pink little bit of rose color on it.
It just matches. Dude.
It looks like a gizzard shad.
Yes, like
because
naturally.
if you ever snagged a gizzard shad in the wintertime, those big gizzard shad get that red on their belly.
Mm-hmm. They do.
So I think something like that is with those pink accents. I think that makes sense. I would throw that because that little bit of red in there. But I feel like you could do the same thing with this and just have a little bit of red on there.
Mm-hmm.
Now I do like your what do they call that? I can't remember what it's called now, but it's the word for coloring where you have a dark back and a light belly, because just about everything in nature has a dark back and a light belly. So I do like.
Thanks, Joe.
I do like having a little bit of that.
He is wild.
Having a dark back with your light bottom, because that's how. I mean, think about it. That's how a bait fish is colored, but I don't think it needs to be this detailed. Just my opinion. Something like this. Like this is perfect.
That's like that little 5-inch glide bait profile right
not,
there.
Not just not the profile. I meant just the color.
Color.
Like a little bit of dark back, white sides.
That was one of the freaking, when I went on there to buy those Clutch Ecos, that was like they had that and then the purple in the same exact. So it was blue and purple. I can't believe those were the only remaining colors. I was like, those are the colors I would have started with.
Joe, I got to get up at 2:30, so I'm right there with you. Yeah, I meant like the color, what it's the biological term for it, Jim. For some reason, I should know this. Like that's biology is mostly what I studied in college, but there's a term for that light back, the dark back, light belly, and I can't remember.
Hey, what's up, Tommy? We got Tom over in the house.
Tom,
that's a freaking local hammer right yonder.
Where are we at tonight, Tom? Conowingo?
Come on. You already know what this is there, Tommy boy. I can't believe that Miles got Tom to buy a glide bait.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, right here. I can't believe he did it.
No way.
You know what's funny, dude? He geeked me out, dude. I texted Tom because he sent me a picture of it, and I was like, oh my gosh, so you're going to just start throwing glide baits. And he's like, well, it's that bite's gone now. And I was like, You bought a $150 glide bait for a 2-day bait bite for a 2-day window for a 2-day window. I was like, keep throwing that thing.
It's what I tell.
It made me laugh.
It
was funny.
It's what I always tell you. That's my approach to.
Say threw it 3 times.
My approach to glide baits is like it's situational. Like I'll throw them when I think the situation is right to throw them. I won't just throw them just to throw them.
Me.
Not like you. I'm not like you.
Me. I'll waste all day long throwing a glide bait, even though somebody on the back of my boat is destroying them on a fucking jig or something.
Usually Steve.
Steve outfishes me 99% of the time.
Like 99 to 1.
Like he will literally look at me and be like, dude, put on the spinner bait. And I'll be like, I'm just going to keep throwing this glide.
Because the one bite I do get is going to be great.
And it always ends up being a 2-pounder.
But it was great.
I
will say, like, that is the glide bait bites are fun. Probably still waiting for AJ at the boat ramp.
Those are like the mornings where you wait for Nate at the boat ramp. He'll be back soon.
I saw a post on Facebook the other day.
Yeah, he'll be back soon.
Maybe.
Hopefully he just doesn't decide to
until the next court date.
Snipe something else at nighttime.
Was it 3-hour bass after dark park with 3 frog hammers yesterday? Hardest thing is putting it down. Oh, who was on, Tom? I didn't catch that one, and I didn't see it in my list today to catch up on it. That's one of the podcasts that I like. I only listen to it like if the people that are on it interest me.
I like Jim's comment. He says, I go hoping to at least catch one fish to justify throwing it. That is exactly. Every time I'm out there, I'm like, dude, we got to go over to this spot. I was like, I got to get one fish. So for a day, it took me 2 days to get bit on this. 2 days. The first day I went out, I threw it. I didn't get bit on it. I started throwing it for maybe like the last hour and a half of the freaking day. Whatever. The next day I came out and I was literally like, no, I'm catching fish on this today. Like, period. I'm not putting this down.
No ish, though.
Jim sent me this bait. I will catch fish on this bait. And then I think I went to one key spot and ended up freaking having a 4-pounder swallow this thing.
Nice.
And that was cool. That's the only one so far on it. But as soon as that 4-pounder swallowed that, I was like, 7-inch now. Time to go. And then just went to another 7-inch trick shad. So no matter what, bull shad has my heart.
Sometimes I feel like matching, we always talk about matching the hatch. And I think if you throw something similar, like if they're eating gizzard shad, like you might get more bites on the 7-inch. But if they're not eating gizzard shad. Oh, hell
yeah, Jim.
Whoa. Oh, I'm going to go wash my hands now. But if your predominant bait is this size, then you'll probably get more bites on this. But this might be good for the follows, right? Or where the donk, throwing a big 9-inch or something like that. I kind of feel like that might have something to do with it.
You definitely have 2 different styles of baits, like right in front of you.
Yes, I know.
As far as
I was just talking about profile, like size.
Well, profile, but I found that the different profiles really allow them to do different things. Like this 6 chops a lot better than doing wide glides. But I mean, the 7 does wide glides a lot better than it does the chops.
But I think the size compared to not necessarily the action, just the size and profile in general makes a huge difference. If the predominant forage is mostly this size, this gets more bites because it's closer resembling what they're eating. Where this may get the follows because it's big and they're interested in it. That's just my theory. It's just a theory that I had.
Well, I mean, essentially, I'm
going to be on the Potomac tomorrow, Tom.
You might get more bites on this for sure because it is definitely more edible. You might get slightly less bites on this, but what I've definitely noticed seeing more fish with the bigger profile bait.
Like I think that big big
It's
profile
getting more interaction.
Gets interest from them,
Yes.
so it allows you to see more fish.
Yes.
But you may get more, more bites.
But that's where you just gotta dial that thing in, man. Because then once you start dialing in, you gotta know how to put that thing right in their face. And just let it sit there.
It's just getting. I'm still. I've learned a lot about glide baits and the situations that I need to throw them. For me, again, it's always going to be situational because I'm not looking. I'm going to throw it when it's the right time to throw it.
Swim bait or die.
That's not me. Joe said he can't put down the KGB Legend lately.
The KGB Legend, that's a 9-inch glide, correct, Joe? I definitely need to. I need to pick up the Bull Shad 9-inch, and I need to pick up the KGB 9-inch, and I also want the TS Shad 9-inch. Those would be the 3 9-inch baits, and then I have the Black Talon, which is not quite 9-inch, but at the end of the tail, you could probably consider it 9-inch. I think it's more of an 8-inch bait, though.
What?
Technically, the Black Talon.
That's a 9.
Is it a 9?
Yep. Yeah, the Black Talon's definitely a 9.
Yeah, I want to get a KGB Legend. I would like to get one.
I think it actually, with the tail, it actually measures out to like almost 10 inches.
Dude, that bait is
very
sick.
Long tail.
That bait's sick.
I did
absolutely love that bait.
I did love that bait, but again, I sold it to you knowing that you would get way more enjoyment out of it.
I'm so scared of hanging that bitch up, dude.
Like, yeah, because you can't replace it.
Yeah, you're not replacing a Black Talon. That's not easily, dude.
That's one of the OG Black Talons too, and he's changed the design since then.
And I'm just, it makes me a little nervous. I'm throwing it on like 65-pound braid.
Yeah, just put 25-pound fluorocarbon on. Call it a day. KGB Chad swim bait, so nice, one of my favorites. I don't have any of the I have none of the quite a few of the Spros.
Yeah,
and that was kind of like my first introduction.
They're definitely not the same.
They're not the same, but I do like the Spro.
The Spro Spro glide is a very nice glide for the $60 range.
I've got quite a few fish on the Spro KGB.
80-pound? Are you throwing 80 just because of all the grass down in Florida?
Maybe throwing a lot around a lot of cover.
You could pull a fucking tree into the water with 80-pound braid. But then again, I guess that thing's definitely not going to snap off.
Yeah, and
it'll just snap your rod.
Unless you backlash.
Yeah.
You want to see braid break real quick? Backlash it with a swim bait on. And it pops.
Dude, and it's loud.
Because
it sounds like a 22 round going off.
There's no stretch, and that bait's so heavy.
Yeah.
That like if you get like a backlash or it's like wrapped around your rod tip, dude, it just pops. It sounds like a whip. It sounds like a whip cracker.
I will never forget winding back. The first time I lost an expensive glide bait. I will never forget winding back and throwing a KGB Chad Shad, and then it just hearing that noise and it going, and I was like, "Oh no!" I literally yelled right at Steve. I was like, "Wherever that bait hit the water, go there now."
They have big game fluoro now. I'm sure that's crap. I mean, mono is mono, but I don't trust Berkeley for it.
Dude, that is the worst though. It's like you literally get to watch your freaking $150 or $200 investment bait just fly into the nether.
So the
just disappear into nothing. It's like, oh, that doesn't it sinks fast enough so that you can't get to it.
Big game monos.
Oh god.
Big game monos. I'm okay with big game mono. I just don't know how I feel about big game fluoro. The first glide bait that I ever bought, and it was a cheap glide bait.
I would check out Big Game Fluoro because the Big Game Mono's got a great name for itself.
Well, yeah, because it's cheap.
But apparently it's good. If people were breaking on it all the time,
it's mono.
It stretches.
Yeah, it's mono. Like,
I don't know. I've been fishing for.
I've never had bad mono.
I've been fishing for like 8 or 10 years now. I've never even used mono ever, not one time.
So the very first glide bait I ever bought, and it was a cheap, like a Chinese blank custom painted from a bait painter, right? The local bait painter, and it was like, I don't know, it was like $30, which was a lot to me at that point. This was 6 or 7 years ago probably, and I go back to the forbidden zone and about halfway across the forbidden zone, Mike Duarte was fishing. I leaned back and went to wing this thing, and my line was looped around my rod tip. I sent that bitch. It landed right behind Mike Duarte's boat, like halfway across the forbidden zone, and he just turned around and goes, "What was that?"
He's pretty fun.
That was my bait.
Duarte's pretty funny.
Yeah, he is.
Talking to him, he's pretty comical. I know he doesn't talk a whole lot, but dude,
$10 for.
I would pay money to get Michael on this freaking podcast.
$10 for what size spool? Like 200 yards.
See, Jim, you have that problem. If I cast off a glide bait, I can swim for it.
Yeah, right. I fish Suffolk's fluorocarbon. I fish Suffolk's advanced fluorocarbon because I get a very large discount on it. So I get 1200 yard spools for 70. They're like between, depending on what size, between like $65 and like $90. It's like $90 for 1200 yards of 20 pound.
Mono, too much stretch, can't control the fish. I honestly like. I like fluoro has that tiny bit of stretch, but I like giving the play and the action in my wrist.
Oh, Scott, you're funny.
Hear from the talent tips report.
So funny story. So
come on.
So my buddy Frank,
good comments, Scott,
was having a problem with his talon, and he said it was out of warranty. So, he asked me to come over and help him. See if we can, kind of take it apart and figure out what was wrong with it. We very quickly got into the weeds on this thing, and what we thought was going to take us a couple hours, in the morning, 10 hours.
I will not forget your text messages in the group messages.
10 hours we worked on this thing. Finally, Frank just gets fed up with it. Pulls the whole internals out and said, "Screw it, I'm taking it to a shop." And Mr. Scott Dice was, when I talked to him yesterday, currently had it apart on his table.
the anchor talon, Joe,
and has been giving me flack for it ever since.
So, what's your opinion on the Minn Kota talons?
Oh,
now?
Fuck those things. Buy Raptors or power poles. At least they're Raptors and power poles are so easy to work on. Don't buy talons. But Mr. Scott hopefully is going to get my Ultrex squared away for me.
What happened to the Ultrex?
It's been messed up since I got it.
The Quest?
Yeah. There's something wrong with the shaft. So
something wrong with my shaft. It curves.
So that's called I think it's called Peyronie's disease. But so if the foot of my trolling motor is pointed straight, here I'll point straight toward the camera so people see. The head looks off this way, so it doesn't line up.
Could you
like it should?
Have you tried locking the shaft and trying to twist the head straight?
No, the head's on straight. So it looks like, when I looked at it, because Mr. Scott needed me to take some pictures to send him in Coda. Peroni Quest. Yes, I have the Peroni Quest because my shaft is twisted.
He's got the Peroni Quest.
So it's it looks like the shaft is like twisted, like in the middle because the head is on straight. Like if you look at where it's connected, that's straight. You look at the foot, it's straight, but somewhere in the middle, it's gotten twisted. But it's been that way since I got it, so somehow or another, it got twisted. I actually noticed it when I first got the boat. I went out. You remember when I broke the boat in? Like I never had a fishing rod on it. I just went out and drove it for 10 hours.
Oh my God! Wow, Joe,
and
that's
then,
impressive.
So then
you still catch more fish than
when I first started fishing with it. I got my live scope all set up. the way that I wanted it. I ordered a different mount for it because I had the Ultrex Quest needed a different mount. So I get my mount for it, and I'm like, I can't find my bait. Like I was having a whole huge problem, finding my bait on LiveScope. I'm like, this is something's weird here. So I was thinking like my LiveScope transducer was like kicked off to the side, and I'm like, no, that's straight. And then I look down, like I pulled my trolling motor up, and I just happened to look at it, one day not long after that, and I was like, that doesn't look right. And then it took me a couple months to call Minn Kota, and then it took me a couple more months to call Mr. Scott because it's tournaments, right? Like I just couldn't be without it at the time. So hopefully Mr. Scott can get me fixed up, and I'm sure he can, and we'll get it fixed and
really quickly.
It'll be good. Hopefully before my Pokemoke tournament in October.
We're hitting that 9 o'clock mark, and I want to give a huge shout out to the people that support us, our sponsors. We got East Coast IV. Check out East Coast IV, man. You can go to them. They can come to you, give you an IV bag, a banana bag, get you feeling good. It's good, man. Like you freaking partied hard
Banana bag. That sounds dirty.
It does sound dirty, but it's actually really good for you.
Sounds like a nickname for
vitamins and minerals.
Sounds like a nickname for a condom.
We could ask them about what is in the banana bag. But man, you like party hard before your wedding, something like that. Go get you an IV.
You trying to buy it, Tom?
You want to go out on the water, really hot in the summer, get you an IV, keep yourself hydrated. East Coast IV, they come to you. We've used their services a few times. I really like East Coast IV.
Tom wants to know what's up with the Ranger. Is it for sale? It's always for sale for the right price.
It's always for sale. It's pretty much for sale. I just haven't listed it yet. But I still haven't decided if I'm selling it either. But
if you sell it, are you just gonna?
If somebody walked up to me and was like, "I'll give you $43,000 for that," I'd be like, "Bye."
You're probably gonna end up keeping it, just because the boat market's starting to suck again.
Probably. Which means I'm not gonna fish it. It's just gonna sit in my garage.
No, you'll fish it.
Mobile Auto Services. Do you see where that prop is? That prop that Frank borrowed
still
2
sitting
weeks
where,
ago?
Still sitting exactly where I put it.
Still sitting on the fucking cooler where you put it. Have not touched it.
Sweet TIV. Sign Scott up.
Mobile Auto Services and the Boat Pros. Another service that comes to you, and another service that I have personally used. When I was going to get rid of my Nitro years ago. Had some issues with the motor. Had them come out, freshen it up. Ran like a top. Sold it. And it was definitely worth it. It is definitely not.
It's such a great idea too, because your auto shops, what time are they open?
3, 4, 5 o'clock.
When
you get off work.
9 to 5. Yep, Monday through
9
Friday.
to 5.
When do you work?
9 to 5.
Monday through Friday.
Yep.
So it's when you need to get stuff done.
Your oil change, anything. They'll come to you, do your oil change. They'll change your freaking windshield wiper motors. They do everything. They do your boats and everything too. They came to me. They did my outboard right in my driveway while I was at work. Mobile Auto Services and the Boat Pros. Definitely check them out. Give them a like on their Facebook. They're a good company. Let's see.
What model Skeeter do you have in your yard?
Have you guys ever heard of UMA Lure Company?
No, I don't throw their crankbaits. They're terrible.
They're the worst crankbait that's ever been made.
Ever. That's a lie. That is a total lie. UMA crankbaits. Tyler Hawthorne makes an amazing, very, very good crankbait.
There's literally 2 of them on my boat right now tied up.
I throw them all the time.
I throw them religiously.
So very, very good bait. One of the best balsa baits that you can buy. And you know that it's a pretty high quality balsa bait if you look at some of the places that it's sold.
He's got the highest deflection crankbait I've ever thrown.
Yeah.
I will throw his crankbait into a freaking cast net, and I feel like it's going to come through it. Like, it just, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just bounces off everything, man. It does a phenomenal job. They are one of the best crankbaits that I have ever used when it comes to actually throwing into like direct contact with laydowns and stuff. They just roll so nicely over branches with that nice thick wide bill.
Do you like EWG trebles or round bend trebles?
EWGs.
because that hook's getting changed out. She's a little dull. I might just sharpen it up. The tip's bent. See.
That must have been one of the logs I got it stuck in.
Big glass boat. Oh, it's his buddies who are trying to sell it. He had a Camus. He had a Camus. So he had a Camus.
Dude,
who's your buddy?
I wouldn't spend the. It's not even worth spending the big money anymore on the shit.
It's not George Short's boat, is it?
Be a small
That'd
world.
be funny. No, he doesn't have a Camus. He has a Vexus. Sorry, that's what I was thinking of.
A drop shot butter knife hook. What is it? What is that? A freaking barbless hook?
It's like
drop shot butter.
It's not a round bend hook. It's a round point hook.
Gotcha.
Dull as a butter knife.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, Joe, I'll beat you my glass boat all the time. I mean, that's what a keel guard's for. Look, it's a round point hook. You might want to
Gotcha.
dull as a.
I thought that was you talking into the mic.
Okay. Yeah. I'm not worried about no docks. Shit, there's no docks in Texas either. It don't bother nobody as long as it's sand and not rock. So if your lakes have sand, if the lakes have sand, it's fine. Like I'm not beaching my boat on rock. But like Texas, there's no boat docks in Texas. Like the one place we launched, like where we launched on Lake Fork.
Why is there's not there's not lake houses and shit on Texas?
No, there's docks, but like at the boat ramps, there's no docks. You don't. There's no docks at the boat ramps. So like, there's nowhere to tie up. You have to beach your boat.
On the concrete ramp.
You can do it on. So you can do it on a concrete ramp, or you can do it on like over on the sides. That's what keel guards are for. Like you can run. I mean, you can park your boat right. Well, if you have a keel guard, you can park your boat right on the concrete ramp. It won't hurt anything.
No.
Yeah, a lot of gravel.
If I would have bought your boat and then gone to Texas, and it's like, in order to get on the boat, you have to beach it, sir.
You're swimming.
You would have been swimming to my boat.
Fuck that. There's gators.
Well,
we saw a lot. Of,
you would have been walking out into at least 3 feet of water to get into the boat, because there ain't no way, sir.
We saw way too many gators. Yeah, it's all. Biggins? It's all. Oh yeah. Yeah. We saw one that was probably like 11 foot.
That's a big gator.
Yeah, it's pretty big one. She was a big girl.
My spare tire hit the other day and lost my license plate. It's like Conowingo's ramp, dude. Conowingo's ramp sucks.
FXR is a nice boat. I couldn't afford an FXR. I bought a ZXR.
I thought FXR was fishing gear. It's the Fox FXR, right?
I think FXR is FXR.
Yeah.
FX something is there's definitely
so
FX
they
something.
came out. So it was actually like they got into like the motocross game, and then they moved over into fishing.
Is it Fox?
It's
like,
not Fox.
Okay.
No, it's FXR.
Okay, so FXR.
Yeah, it's FXR.
I thought they like rebranded. Maybe like Fox rebranded or
just,
something.
All the riders that normally are running FXR are sponsored by Fox too.
Odd. Yeah, I've definitely seen it. I mean, it looks like good stuff. I do need to find some good rain gear. I got rain gear last year, and it sucks.
Mm-hmm. I bet you I'd put money on FXR being a good product. I would.
I just don't want to spend $800 on a freaking rain suit. That's my big issue.
I feel like if you actually want to get into a good rain suit, though, you're going to spend that money, no matter what brand it is.
So the rain suit that I have, that's still good mostly. is Gore-Tex, and it was full, regular. I got it on sale, but regular retails in it was like $500 for the whole set. It was like $250 or $240, $250 per piece.
Storm.
Like, and I find that Stormer, yeah, they make good shit.
Stormer's been junk going Sims. I feel like Sims or AFCO is the way to go.
Oh, really? Stormer's been junk. Sims.
What about Frog?
So the AFCO.
So I heard terrible things
I've,
about Frog Tog. Like non-breathable, don't breathe. They're way too hot.
Depends on what you get. You have to look at what you get. I've had Frog Tog stuff in the past. It was good for what I paid for it. It lasted 4 or 5 seasons, and then it started to leak, and I used a lot.
I actually run Under Armour. Do you know anybody that has Under Armour bibs?
Only Chris Johnson.
I'm running Under Armour Shoreman's Gore-Tex bibs.
Yeah. Anything Gore-Tex is going to be good.
They're really, really
I really
nice.
wanted Sims. I actually missed out on a stupid good deal on Sims, and it sucks because if I had known that the hook ring gear that I got for Christmas hadn't sucked, like I would have bought the Sims CX. Susquehanna Fishing Tackle had it 40% off. Like right after Christmas.
Do you remember when we went to SFT and I sat there and stared at that rain jacket for like an hour?
Yep.
Debated on buying it.
Yeah.
If they would have had
That's the same one. That's the one I wanted.
Yeah. If they would have had that one in those camouflage sleeves that I wanted, I would have left with it.
I wanted that, and they had the color that I wanted too. I wanted that greenish. It was like that green. Like
it was like
green.
half off for like $279 or something, $280.
Oh, I would have bought it, no doubt.
They didn't have it in my size and the color I wanted.
Yeah, AFCO Barricade, no pisser zipper. Yeah.
Yeah, Tom told me that. I was gonna say, Tom's on here, but Tom told me the AFCO
hook
bibs don't do it with no pisser zipper.
The hook also does not have a pisser zipper.
No.
Yeah.
Sims.
Yeah, my hooks actually, like I had a seam rip on mine, and they replaced them. They actually refunded me because they ended up like going to a different model. But I don't know. So right now I'm just sticking with I have two rain suits. I have a like warm weather rain suit, which is a Columbia, just a nylon Columbia rain suit. Dude, I swear, no joke, this rain suit total less than $200. It was like $90 for the bibs and like $100 for the jacket.
For who? From who?
From Columbia.
Keeps
me drier than those fucking that fucking Huck suit.
Bro, Scuba Steve doesn't wear any rain gear from fishing companies. He only wears Columbia rain gear.
Well, Columbia is technically like they have a whole fishing division.
They do have that.
That's what mine are. Mine's the PFG.
Yeah, the PFG.
And like that rain suit keeps me so dry. Like I was super impressed.
Yeah.
Yellow rain suit, yeah, baby, straight rubber.
I'm
gonna get an orange one.
I did that before though. I had one day we were supposed to go fishing, and Steve will vouch for me on this. It's not in the bottom of the John boat anymore, but you know those packs of like the rain suits that you can buy at Home Depot.
Was it
no, it's not the poncho. It comes
suit?
with the pants, the boots, and the jacket, and like this thing for like $40 at Home Depot. And I had that, and they gave it to me at work, and I didn't have any rain gear.
That's fine.
No. Scuba Steve forgot his rain gear. So I was like, show up, we're fishing in the rain. I got something for you. So he shows up and I throw him this I throw him this rubber ducky suit. Like but the issue is, dude, that shit doesn't breathe at all. That shit is so hot.
Joe keeps a set of rubbers on the boat.
It's wearing a rubber coat.
Both kinds. Ooh. Both kinds of rubbers. I'm just throwing this out there.
Exactly.
But you probably don't need to keep the other kind on the boat because apparently it's a giant turnoff if you have a fish in your profile picture.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
I've heard that.
Also, don't give a fuck.
Don't care. Y'all don't pay my bills.
Not the Magnums.
Y'all don't pay my bills.
Right? I don't give a shit. I don't give a fuck.
I don't know. I had a fish in my profile picture. I thought my chick's pretty hot, so I'm good with it.
I mean,
I'm good with it.
I'm good. I mean,
Come on.
I don't care. I'm married.
It's 9:15, sir.
Yeah, I gotta go to bed.
Yes, you do. You got a long day ahead of you. But this has been a fantastic episode of Bass and Beer Radio Friday Night Shenanigans.
Yes, it has.
That's bothering the shit out of you.
It is.
He's like, he's trying to fix it with his thumbnail right now. It's a piece of. Oh, there it is. Did you guys really meet on Tinder? Hell yeah.
Tinder fish pics. Nice. Sounds like a great way to not get laid.
Apparently it worked.
Worked for him.
Probably
Slightly better.
I'll be in the GP or the bush, probably, buddy.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'll be on the GP Sunday
Sunday.
for my tournament.
I got some areas I want to go check it out.
Don't beat on my fish too hard, Tom. Just saying.
What if I beat on them?
I'm not worried about that. You're gonna throw a glide bait and catch one of them.
I'm gonna catch the one that's. I'm gonna catch the right one.
No, you're gonna catch the 2-pounder.
It's like spend hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars on baits to come in with them GP 2-pounders.
I got one 2-pounder today, boys.
Boys, thank you guys for joining into Bass and Beer Radio tonight. Absolutely love having you guys. We're tuning out. Paul's got to get up early in the morning, but this has been a
2:30
great
comes
episode.
early.
2:30 does come early. Dude, some of my favorite episodes are absolutely the piss in the wind episodes.
Oh, yeah.
We just freaking
Sit
get
there
into
and bullshit.
it. Yep. Look at that, freaking almost 300 comments. That's sick. Absolutely love you guys. Thank you guys for joining. If you guys ever need anything, any information, whatever, hit us up on Bass and Beer Radio. Looking forward to talking to you guys next week.
Tom,
Peace out. Hold up. Don't leave.
The
Don't leave.
The Thursday Nighter Weekend Edition, probably in like 3 weeks. I got a lot of crap going on. I got a lot of tournaments going on.
Thursday night or weekend edition.
Yeah. Thursday Nighter Weekend Edition.
Let's
So,
go.
have a good night, everybody.